Information. It comes in all forms, and the amount of it is overwhelming. Course rosters, 901s, 903s, certificates, disaster welfare inquiries, invoices, applications, reports, and memos. And that's just a fraction of it. It's nearly impossible to stay on top of it all. And yet, the proper management of information is key to effective management. However, there are now tools for dealing with information that can make your life easier, and CHERS is one of the best.
Once again, let's ask Ed Stern. Ed, how easy or difficult will it be to do this?
Well, Ken, it's really a two-part process. The first thing the chapter needs to be able to do is enter the information into the system and code it properly. Once the information's in there, it's relatively easy to get it out. Let me show you what I mean. For example, in the skills section, I need to tell the computer that I want to find people that are able to speak Spanish.
So you're entering the codes now.
The actual codes that were entered on their record, and some of which were developed by the chapter. Correct.
So what the computer is doing right now is electronically searching through files.
Correct. The computer is going to search through all the volunteers I have here in the record and provide me with a detailed list, names, addresses, and even phone numbers as to who I can contact to teach the specific course I'm looking for.
Now, if I was to go under the old system into a file cabinet and start to look through folders, how long might it take?
Well, obviously that depends upon how many files have to be looked through. If you've got a small chapter, probably not as long as a chapter that may have 10,000. But no matter how you look at it, it's still a time-consuming effort for any chapter of any size.
Hello, I'm Edward Stern from National Headquarters Information Services. I hope we've given you a good idea about what's involved in the pre-installation process. Throughout this tape series, we have heard comments from various CHERS users. I thought it would be a good idea to bring them all together to talk about their experiences, frankly because there's no better way to learn than through the experiences of others. What do you think your expectations were of CHERS, and what expectations were met?
Well, primarily, the program is to automate the volunteer records to get better information about your volunteers. And secondarily, I would say it would be to help in the statistical reporting, primarily the chorus reporting required by national.
Okay, so the chorus reports,
right,
as well as majority of it is the volunteer information as well?
The tick mark method is no longer the way to go in the future. We need computers to do that for us.
It's going to put everything together, all of the components we have. It'll make the disaster. We have a disaster base that has all the information for volunteers. We're going to incorporate everything together. My mailing list will be on that. The donor base will be on that. Volunteer list will be on that. And it'll all be compiled into one area, which will be easier for everybody. Then if you want information, you can just pull it out from one source.
Miley, it looks like you were itching to tell us all about what changes you brought about.
I was just going to say about the same thing, but it's enabled us to keep our record keeping in a lot better order, to be able to update our records quicker. If we need to, if we have calls, SMF or anything, and you need the info right away, that's a heck of a lot easier bringing this info up rather than looking through all the files.
Okay, so just speed and accuracy then,
right,
basically, and having it all in one place like Ruth had said.
CHERS originated in field service units, and service units using CHERS get together annually to make recommendations for future development. Making CHERS a part of your service unit is a big decision, but it comes with its own reward. And because the Red Cross wants your unit to get as much as possible from automation, Information Services at National Headquarters has produced this series of videos, workbooks, computer exercises, and support tools and called it CHERS Basic. CHERS Basic simplifies the use of CHERS so that you can get online and start using CHERS with a limited amount of preparation. What's in the CHERS Basic box anyway? Well, they're videos, such as this one, to guide you through the use of They're written materials. The most important one for you now is your workbook, which contains the exercises you'll be doing at the computer, along with special references for your use. And there are various diskettes, which will install a number of programs into your computer. Obviously, these diskettes include the CHERS software, but they also include codes in a can and computer-based training. Now that you have a class scheduled and opened, and now that you've found an instructor, it's time to enroll some students. There are 3 ways to keep track of students enrolled in a class. You can record their names or their names and addresses, or you can just enroll a certain number of students into the class. You should consider entering students with addresses and other information. Having a student's address is essential when you want to mail or market to these individuals, possibly to remind them of an expiring certificate, announce a new course, or solicit funds and volunteers. While you're in a class's window, press the F6 key and choose Student Roster Enrollment. In the Student ID field, you can enter a student's last name. Whether or not CHERS finds that last name in the ED student file determines what happens next. If the student is not in the ED student file, CHERS will ask you if you'd like to add it. When you say yes, the student's window will open. Although CHERS is not a physical inventory system, it will help you keep track of income versus expense for your classes. Prices used for books or other materials are set by your unit. This is done from the Enter Books window in Education Management. Now, it's time to do some training on your own in the Education Workbook. The exercises you'll be working on will review what you've learned so far in this video. See you soon.